So today we'll talk about the most expensive movies in history. Not every movie comes cheap, however. And as movies get more and more expensive, we'll probably see more and more box office failures. Probably on levels that we have not seen before, as inflation gets worse. But today we'll be talking about the box office here. And the highest budgeted movie is still Pirates of the Caribbean on Strange Aside. That movie costed $375 million to make. I'm shocked it isn't Avengers, one of the Avengers movies, because there's Age of Ultron, Endgame, and Infinity Wars. You know what I find surprising that Endgame costs less and Infinity War costs less than Age of Ultron. Both of these films cost far less to make and produce. They cost far less to make and produce. Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. These Pirates of the Caribbean movies cost a lot of money to make. A lot of money to make. Star Wars, not surprised here. John Carter, yeah, this is the infamous biggest box office flop of all time. Then we have a ton of movies at $200 million. A ton of movies here. So, Titanic was the first movie to cost $200 million. And then we have Black Widow, F9, and Tomorrow War. All these movies costed $200 million to make. They have to make like a ton of money. I know Marvel movies are all expensive and stuff, but the Tomorrow War is that expensive to make? I would have thought it was like a $150 million budget movie, or $170 million. But that movie cost $200 million to make. $200 million. That's a ton of money for the Tomorrow War. Another movie you'll be surprised that it cost so much is Cars 2. Yep, Cars 2 costed $200 million to make. But Cars 3 did not. Cost $200 million to make. Incredibles 2 costed $200 million to make, and Toy Story 4. But Soul and Luca didn't cost $200 million to make. So yes, everybody's least favorite Pixar movie, except for mine. I don't like The Incredibles 1 and 2. And I definitely do not like Brave. My least favorite Pixar movie is The Good Dinosaur. That's my least favorite one. But, man, some of these movies cost so much. And it was really around 2018 when movies started costing $200 million to make. Wonder Woman 1984, Tenet, Mulan, that's a lot of money to be spent on a movie. Dark Phoenix costed $200 million to make. Of course, it's adjusted for inflation now. Man, Armageddon costed $222 million to make. Some of these movies are very expensive. Spider the Matrix isn't on here. Adjusted for inflation, of course. The Matrix never made it here? It's just shocking how some of these movies cost so much to make here. And then, of course, you have Superman Returns cost $204 million to make. That's another pretty old movie. Rogue One cost $220 million to make. I'm just shocked that none of the Godzilla movies made it on this list. Like, you would think that the Godzilla movies would cost over $200 million to make, but no, they did not. None of the Godzilla movies made it on this list. Actually, Fast 9's budget is not too surprising, considering that Hobbs and Shaw costed $200 million to make. And Black Widow, I'm surprised that costed $200 million to make. Considering that it looked like a lower budget movie. It didn't look like a super expensive movie, but apparently we were wrong. It costed $200 million to make. I thought that they would make Black Widow like a small movie that cost like $100 million or something. But no, apparently Black Widow costed $200 million. Maybe half of that money was to keep Scarlett Johansson in for the movie. Basically, I think that was half the budget spent on the movie. Because you look at the trailers, it doesn't look like it costed $200 million to make. It looks like it cost $100 million to make at the very most. I haven't seen the movie, so yeah. But Black Widow costed that much money to make. Spider-Man 2, everybody's favorite Spider-Man, the most overrated Spider-Man movie, costed $200 million to make. And what I'm surprised most is some of these animated movies, Tangled, $260 million it cost to make that. Okay, I can see animated. So we had the most expensive animated movies. Man, some of these movies costed a lot of money to make. The Good Dinosaur, $175 million it cost to make. I'm just shocked that anime movies, some of these anime movies costed so much money to make. Okay. Soul costed $150 million. So why isn't it? Why it costed a Treasure Planet costed that much money to make? No wonder I was one of Disney's biggest flops. It costed that much to make. Even like traditional anime movies, which you would think that would not cost that much money to make, apparently did. No wonder why no wonder you see those no videos on the internet of animated characters so short, because making a 1 hour, but apparently making a high quality animation costs so much money, at least to Disney and Pixar, that they basically are on here. And yeah, the Lion King remake is also on here. Even some of the DreamWorks movies, the Bee Movie cost $150 million to make. $150 million to make. Why are these animated? Why is the Bee Movie so much? Why would the Bee? No wonder why the Bee Movie was so expensive to make the first one. Man, so expensive. Yeah, stop motion animated movies. Missing Link, $100 million. Yeah, anime doesn't really cost any money to make. Movies are one westerns from Japan. But yeah, animated now it's the highest grossing. Almost the highest grossing anime movie of all time. If you consider The Lion King it. Yeah, The Lion King remake is the highest grossing anime movie. So I when we go to the place in South Carolina, I can tell them they ask what's the highest grossing Disney movie again. I could just tell them The Lion King, because it technically is now. I said it was The Lion King remake because I knew The Lion King remake would reach that status of highest grossing Disney movie of all time. If you want to get technical, the real highest grossing Disney movie of all time is Endgame, since Disney owns the Marvel series. But apparently it's the Lion King remake, and then we have this is all animated movies. No DreamWorks movies ever made $1 billion, but Illumination has 2 movies over $1 billion. It seems that little pill people or minions. Apparently that's not Shrek, but apparently little pill people are the big draw to see movies in the theaters. I don't know, of course, if you adjust it for inflation, Shrek probably passes like $1 billion or something. But some of these movies, I'm just surprised made so much money. Like The Boss Baby. The Boss Baby made $527 million at the box office. It made more money than Kung Fu Panda 3 and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Some of these movies are completely shocking how much money they made. Like Cars 2, people say that how bad Cars 2 is, but it made more money than Brave. No wonder why. Apparently everybody hated Cars 2, but it was apparently so great it beat Brave at the box office. It made more money than Brave, which came out the year afterwards. But people hated Brave too, so not too surprising. Probably because it won Best Animated Feature, which people got angry because it sort of been something else. Why did they put Brave as the Best Animated Movie of the year? That's one of the biggest questions we'll never get answered because Brave sucks. But some of these movies made a lot of money. Pets made more money than Inside Out, Coco, and Up. Yep, Secret Life of Pets made more money than Coco and Inside Out. But again, Pets did release when Illumination's popularity was at its height. Yeah. Demon Slayer is the. If you look at this is traditional animation, Demon Slayer outgrows most classic Disney movies. It actually did. It's at number 4 of all time. It almost beat Aladdin. Then. Yeah, it beat almost every Disney movie. Why is still the highest grossing anime movie of the year. Still is. Well, that's because the Boss Baby didn't really release internationally, so they didn't really release the movie internationally. You have to wait until September to find out those results. But eventually it will pass it. Same thing with Space Jam. I must have one for live action animation hybrids. Well, they actually correctly finally put Endgame in. At least the numbers finally correctly puts Guardians of the Galaxy and Endgame as live action animation hybrids, which they truly are. And Alita. Not every live action animation hybrid is a cartoon. That's why I have a whole problem with the genre, because a lot of movies that are notable for being live action animation hybrids are not considered live action hybrids because it's not a cartoon. Because it's not a PG rated movie. So apparently that they don't count, like Alita doesn't count, Planet of the Apes doesn't count, apparently Endgame doesn't count, Avengers doesn't count. All those movies that have massive CGI, Godzilla, especially, the Godzilla movies, newer ones. Apparently they don't count as live action animation hybrids because they're not PG, which is stupid. Makes no sense. Finally, the numbers at least realizing that and putting movies that are not just, oh my god, the movie, like, for example, Space Jam 2 is a live action animation hybrid movie. But again, Alita is too, and again, Guardians of the Galaxy is as well a live action animation hybrid because Groot is an animated character. Because, yeah, they don't put movies like Alita on here. Like, Alita is not one on here. Alita is not one of these. Despite Alita using animation. Or those movies that have, like, animated segments. Like Mary Poppins Returns, they have, like, animated characters in it as well. But characters of, like, fully 3D CGI characters. Or characters that are mostly animated should be in there. For example, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Is one. I know they're using motion capture for Groot, but that still counts as animation. You can't fool us here. And yeah, apparently, but yeah, movies like Endgame don't count as live action / animation. I know you're saying that, oh yeah, CGI or blah 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 shouldn't count, or there, but I just think it's just dumb to exclude movies that, have a heavy reliance on animation, CGI, characters that are not included. For example, Alita Battle Angel is definitely one. Well, Alita is mostly just CGI. She basically is motion capture. She's not considered it's not considered a live action animation hybrid. But that's why I have the whole problem with this whole genre in general. It seems that only PG movies can really count for this category of movies, this quote-unquote category of movies, And yep, there we go about this video. Goodbye.